right, there is no way to transition into this episode because it's chaotic. Before this, you all saw this right here, which is Teacher
What is
Appreciation
that?
Week, which is coming next week. But then we come here and we're in space? What?
Is this some kind of crazy space celebration week for
I
some
think that it's a
weird reason?
space seller. It is Revenge of the Sixth today, and
Yes.
we have been celebrating Sci-Fi Week all week here on Adobe Live. If you're watching the replay, go back and watch some of the videos. There were some amazing streams for Star Wars, some awesome postcards, and we're continuing that sci-fi theme today. As you can see, I'm ready for space. And Nick, are you?
I'm just cultivating creativity over here, baby.
You can be in the booth giving me my
There you go.
my
Yes.
instructions. That's what it is.
I love that. There we go. Come in space.
So, welcome to Adobe Office Hours. If you've never watched before, this is the show that happens every Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Nick, what do we do?
We just hang out every Friday afternoon and show you guys some new stuff that's happening with applications. We've gone through, 4 to 5 series now we're kind of looking at, and this is our Back to Basics 200 level. And we're just having a blast showing you guys just some really cool things, maybe to kind of just help up your game when it comes to being a creative. And you could be freelance, you could be a student, you could be full-time. We're for everybody.
We're for everybody.
Yes.
And Adobe Live. There we go. I turned some tunes on because I feel like it's a tunes day.
Yes.
So we have been going through the basics, intermediate, advanced, Illustrator, Photoshop, all that stuff. So last episode, we did the intermediate 201 of Illustrator. And today, we're going to be showing you some tips and tricks in Illustrator, but we're going to be having some fun doing it. So fire up Illustrator with us because, Nick, what are we working on today?
So we are going to do a cool little fictitious space poster, basically for space travel. We're going to make a fictitious intergalactic airline, let's call it, and a promotional propaganda fun little tourism poster for traveling to Pluto.
No, that was some art direction right there. There were a lot of adjectives happening.
I love it.
So if you want to design with us as well as talk with us, you can do that. You can fire up Illustrator, and you also can join our Discord, which is right down here, discord.gg/ACC. And you can check that out and post your work right here in the OH homework channel. We also have a classroom chat. If you'd like to come on to the voice chat, you can hop in there. If you got some cool work you want to show us at the end of the show, hop in and let me know.
Fun.
And we can do that. Yeah, always fun. All right, so we do have somebody. Hey, Andrew, I would love a pointer on how to make a big poster with bargain inkjet printer. Ooh, that's a good question. Nick, what would be your approach to doing a big poster with a bad printer?
Well, okay, so if it only does like 8.5 by 11, you kind of got to tile it, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's what I would do.
And you could do something really cool. I made a collage years ago out of something like that, because I didn't have an 11 by 17 one or something big. But they do have these fairly large inkjet ones that have rolls on them as well. So it's a fixed width, but you can actually print something quite long. Yep. So I don't know what you have as far as a bargain, but home printing is still quite a little bit of a hasn't excelled as the way everything else has in home tech,
so
right?
What I would do, and we're going to show you again, Office Hours is here to help you guys with your problems. So if you have questions, put them in chat, leave them in the comments down below if you're watching the replay. And we're just going to start the show, not with what we were planning, but with what your questions are, because we love you.
Yes.
So here's what I would do, is I would make a new document, Control N for new. I would go to 8.5 by 11 to set up a document. And I would make an even amount of artboards. So let's say that I want it maybe 3 across, 3 across,
5 down.
5 down? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So that's what?
15.
15. So I'm going to do 15 artboards. I'm going to make no bleed on any side, and I'm just going to hit create. What that's going to do is it's going to make all these artboards. We got close. We missed by one. And so we have all of these artboards, but we can add an extra one. So we're going to go to the artboard tool right over here, and I'm just going to hit the plus button to add another artboard right there. So now we have all of our artboards, but you're thinking, Andrew, I can't print this because there would be weird edges. Oh, let me show you what to do. Right here, there is a rearrange all artboards button. Click on that and then go ahead and change the spacing to 0 and hit OK.
There you go.
Now you can see that they all went together. Oops, I definitely made that wrong. I only want 3 columns, 0 spacing. And now, oh boy, I want 4 columns. What happened here?
Well, we added 1 because it was 15. You made it 16, but 3 by 5 should work.
All right, there we go. Right there. So we have 4 across, and then I'm going to take my artwork. I'm going to copy and paste it in. We'll just scale it up to the size that we want it to be, like that. And then I can come in here and I can just go to File, Export, Export As, or Export for Screens. And we can export all of these as individuals, print them, and tape them together.
So cool.
I think, right? That would be the way that I would do it if I was tiling on a small printer. All right.
And I think you actually get a funky, like, if you cut on where the trim is, because, you know, most printers can't print to the edge. Illustrator finds the right way. If you cut it, it will butt up right to the next one and actually overlap it, which is actually even better.
Yes. And Nick, we do have something that we need to say as well as we start off the show. We're 6 minutes in. Okay, people get mad on YouTube comments when we're 8 minutes into talking, so we have 2 minutes of talking left. So we need to say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
To
all the
Elizabeth.
Graduations.
Everybody else, right?
Yeah.
We have a few in the house right now.
We have a few in the house. Elizabeth, I know, graduated. I think that Colby is graduating. So congratulations to all you students that are graduating, finishing up school. Bravo. I don't think Colby's graduating, actually, but I do know that Elizabeth did. So congratulations if you are graduating. Let us know down in the comments. All right.
Tell us what you're graduating with, Colby. I'm sure there's something we can throw your way.
All right. Let's stop talking and start designing. There's going to be a chapter marker that says, like, design starts. So here we go.
There we go. I love the chapter markers.
I love the chapter markers that took you right here.
Those?
You skipped to the first 6. Wade, our moderator Wade, does those.
Oh, Wade, those are the best.
That's
man.
it. Wait, hold on.
All
right, we need a clean cut on the chapter marker. All right, here we go. And hey, everybody, welcome to the design portion of Adobe Office Hours. Nick, what are we going to be designing today in this chapter marker?
I want to do a travel to Pluto poster. Just something fun that would be. I always love the ones that are in Star Wars land and like in Star Tours when you leave, and it's these promotional posters to go travel to another planet. So I did a quick little bit of research here. I love these vibes. I love the two that they get into this really fun stuff by having like interplanetary park and U.S. Department of Exterior. I love this idea of like the coolest planet in the solar system for Pluto. Even the old ones here where they say fly the finest.
Yes.
You know, and you look at all this great content that they added here. International Space Travel Bureau. Like, doesn't that just sound perfect, right?
It does.
So these were everything that we found, and then I just wanted to have some copy ready to go. You can see here, coolest planet, Intergalactic Space Travel Bureau, and we're going to call this Solar Galactic as kind of the name of the rocket or the airline, whatever you want to call it at this point. So
sweet. So what we're going to be doing is today you're going to be seeing 2 views. So this is one view. As you can see, Nick has the dark interface. And over here, I have the light interface. So we will be working together on this project using collaboration tools like libraries. And Nick, what will you be handling on your side?
So I'm going to handle architecture, shapes, kind of the overall layout, so we have a wireframe. And then what Andrew's going to do is kind of all the extras. He's going to be finding the right color palettes, maybe some extra little frosting we can add to this thing to kind of make it kind of spacey. And maybe we'll both collaborate on some fonts and some kind of type treatments as well, because I think we've got a pretty good start here as far as what we want to do for this poster.
Yep, absolutely. So Nick, do you want to start out building the shapes, kind of talk through what tools you're going to be using? And then in a second, I'll switch over. I'm going to start looking for colors, but I'll switch over in a second and look at that. And as always, chat, if you want to design with us, open Illustrator, do it.
Yes.
Nick, actually, can you go? Here, actually, I got it. Hold on.
Go for it, man.
All right, chat, this is for you. This is going to be my special gift to you, chat. Screenshot that right there. If you want to design along with us, screenshot that right there. Pop it into Illustrator and you can design with us and see what you can create. All right, you got it? All right, and back to Nick. There we go. All right, Nick, what are we building with?
So I'm going to try to make this exhaust and this kind of like the oomph and the kind of power underneath the ship. And the first thing I did is I just drew like my 2 squares here as well. And I figured this is the easiest way to kind of just go in there and just mess with the corners, get in that kind of idea that I want here as well. And I'm going to go to my scissor tool or cut tool, whatever you guys like to use. And I'm going to go off the edge here because I know I'm just going to mask this later on. So all I wanted was these pieces right there. And I've got that ready to go. And then I can close this together here. And then we've got kind of our base ready to go here as well. And I'm a fan of like picking a hot like neon color or something kind of cool, just so it stands out and I'm seeing exactly what I'm gonna have, right? Over the sketch. You can dim the sketch if you want as well. That's another thing. So I've got that ready. And then the other thing is I found this one here. I'm a big fan. I always love that shape of the space shuttle and the way that kind of looks here, this one here. So I love this idea. It kind of is like a combination of a plane and a rocket, kind of like has the kind of that vibe in between there. So the quickest way to do it is I'm literally just going to do a Command R that gives me my ruler. And again, I'm going to just find that mid spot right there. And it depends on how much, we'll see how much detail we can get into here. But I'm literally just going to pop that here. And then I'm just going to find a nice kind of like pen tool here to kind of figure out what my shape's going to look like. It doesn't have to be exactly. In fact, what I like to do is kind of like just go randomly like this and try to get as less dots as possible. Yep. I don't know about you, but like I've been watching a lot of these folks that I call them like the vector kings. Bob Ewing's one of my favorites. Obviously, Michael Fugoso is really great as well.
Hydro 74.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So I love them when they show these like tips on how they build these things. It's mostly about the less points. Look, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. And I'm trying now, I can go back and I can kind of go back to these anchors and find kind of a shape that's a little bit more my own. I can drag this one down a little bit. And all of a sudden I'm getting a really cool look here that I feel like it's like, wow, okay. I've got something here that I can duplicate pretty quickly as well.
Have you used the curvature tool at all, Nick?
No. Let's see.
Can you drop that image into the library, and I'll pull it up here, and you can do it pen tool, and I'll do it curvature, and we'll see which one kind of fits. So curvature is really like a quick, easy version of the pen tool. Yes. It's not as precise, so I'm actually curious to see what happens. But what's cool is what just happened here is Nick just dragged this into our library. And I believe, let's go ahead and look in my live sessions. That should show up. It's not showing up. Can you try it one more time, Nick?
Yeah, it's in the not group section, artwork 19.
Oh, there it is. There we go. So it just popped up on mine right here, and I can simply click and drag it out. And then I have that shape right there, so I can work on it as well. All right, so keep going over there, Nick, and I'll work over here on the curvature tool.
Perfect. Can't wait to see how that looks. All right, cool. So I'm just randomly drawing. You can see what I'm doing here. I made the fin on here. I simplified this shape just a little bit. And I've got enough that I feel like, oh, I'm going to do the window as well. So let's get that window on the top here. So let's get that. We'll go back here. Pop this guy right there. Let's do maybe one like that. And curve it there, like right about there, and then right on the line. Perfect. So it looks like it lost my pink outline, so I'm just going to eyedrop it, and we're good to go. So now I could just take this one right out of the way, see what I have here, and there's my shapes. Cool. Oh, I like the way this is looking. All right, cool. So I'm going to grab this. A lot of ways you can do it. I just do a quick drag and duplicate, and then over here on reflect, I just kind of, with the shift key down, I kind of reflect it over, and now I have that perfect mirrored image that's right there as well. So I'm going to get rid of the line, because that gets in the way sometimes. And we'll drag all these.
The answer here is that it is much easier to do that with the pen tool. I was working with the curvature tool. It's not great for this shape, and so it's not even worth showing. Sorry, y'all.
So perfect. So a quick little thing here is like you can just grab both points and go Command J. And what this will do, will make a quick join on all of your pieces there as well. So I can go right here. You can obviously go right back into there. Most of the time, it's pretty clean. If it gives you double the points, you can go back in there and get rid of them. But I'm going to do that here.
And if you don't want to use the hotkeys, you also can grab the shape that is open here and go to Object, Path, and Join right there. And it will connect that little piece that you just saw there.
Yeah, so there you got that little piece that's right there on top too. I can get rid of that pretty quickly. I think this first thing you could do is just compound path this, I believe, and then edit that off. Right, that's a quick way you can cut it.
Yep.
Or you can actually go in if that's a little too advanced. You could just get rid of one of them, and that way you've got this one here. And if we want to, I can zoom in on it a little bit and just round it off a little bit. It always looks a little bit better.
Yep, being able to round things saves me from having to be specific with my anchor points all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So what should we do? Want me to give this over to you if you want to start working on like coloring or
Yeah, no,
shading
you
on
can
this guy, or
keep-
do you want to build some more?
I'd say, yeah, you can keep building some stuff and kind of get the base. I'm going to flip over and I'll start looking at some color. So I'm going to
Perfect.
use a tool called Adobe Color. If you haven't used it, it is
I love it.
color.adobe.com. And there's a couple things that I can do here, right? I can click and drag this around and find a color palette that I feel like is good, right? We're working with Pluto, right? And so we want it to be cooler.
Yes.
So maybe I want to do some kind of analogous to where it's a lot of different versions of blues, right? It's not really working for me. Maybe do complementary, kind of get some blues and yellows. Still isn't quite working. And I want the inspiration that Nick had of those kind of old travel posters. So we're going to go ahead and just go to trends. Sorry, we're going to go ahead and go to explore. And here I'm going to type in like vintage space, not page, space. There we go. And see if anything comes up. So this is my favorite thing to do, is just search for color palettes. So I actually love this kind of red, white, and blue vibe because it has the blues that are cool. The reds may be a little bit too hot, but I like the idea of this one. So all I need to do is click on Add to Library, and you can see it's live sessions. And when I click on Add to Library, boom, it pops into my library. And not only is it my library, it also is in Nick's library now, so that we can work on these colors together. So I have done this red, white, and blue one, and then I grabbed a couple others. This one is inspired by kind of that state parks. And then this one up here that's green and brown. I like the values of it, but I want it to be more blue. So I'm going to show you real quick how to augment that color scheme. So I just added these to my library. I can right click and hit add theme to swatches. Check it out, add theme to swatches on all those. And now when I come up to my swatches, they are all here for me right there. Perfect. So I'm gonna zoom in and oh boy, there we go. And I'm just gonna make some boxes here. I'm using the rectangle tool, thank you. And I'm just gonna make a box and then fill it with one of these colors. And I wanna augment this gross kind of brown that I'm using. I'm just clicking and dragging, holding Alt or Option to make a copy there, and then hitting Command D to make another copy. All right.
Perfect.
So these colors are gross, right, Nick? This is not what we want for Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to make a copy of them, and then I'm going to use the new Recolor Artwork tool, which is just the absolute best. We're going to go to Edit, Edit Colors, and we are going to go to Adjust Color Balance. So you've probably used a lot of these other ones, but not a lot of people have used the Adjust Color Balance. So I can come in here and we're going to turn on the preview, and I can actually add more or less color, right? This is like Photoshop when you're adding and playing around with color, but it's actually changing the values, not just augmenting them. So check this out. I want more blue. I'm going to grab this slider and just pull it to the left. And you see when I let go, it's now made those way more saturated, right? There's too much green. So I'm going to pull the green down. Oh, I literally went the opposite way. More blue. There we go. And I want less green. All right, maybe less red so it's less purple. All right, that's starting to feel a little bit more Pluto-y, right? I like this purple in there. And so you can see that it's the exact same color palette. I knew that these values looked good to me, but I needed it to be more blue and a little bit less red, right? And so now I have a new palette, and I can simply click on this folder, and boom, I've replaced with a new palette, and I can delete this one because we don't want it.
Love it. Probably maybe even like a punch of a nice kind of orange or something, like a good complementary to those blues.
Oh yeah.
One good, I was like the color of your shirt. Like,
Yep.
it's like, that kind of vibe. I think that would look great.
Oh, this? I believe we're working in RGB right now as well. So the best way to find a nice little punchy orange is I know I want something that's maybe in the value of this purple, that's an accent color. I can grab this hex code, Control C, just copy it, come back into Adobe Color, and check this out. Go to Create, and I can drop it in to my base color. So right here, behind me, let's go full screen. There we go. Right here, I can drop in that base color, and it's going to shift it so that there's that purple. And then maybe I want to do split complementary. Let's try a triad. See somewhere that I can find that it's going to hit in the orange zone. Perfect. So let's do a triad, and then see if we pull this out a little bit further, if we can get that nice kind of burned orange.
That's a great little harmony going on there.
I love this. So you can see that it's still hitting our purple, still in harmony. Yeah. It is just pulled off to the side a little bit. So I'm going to grab this hex code and bring it back into Illustrator, paste it, and we'll hit, Make a copy right there. It got quiet in between songs, and it's super awkward. All right, there we go. And there we go. We've got this nice little like burnt ashen purple. I love that.
Dig it. All right.
All right, so I'm going to drop those in the library for us, just so we have these extra colors. And then we'll flip back to you. So all I'm doing is I select these, and then I just add in fill colors. So I'm selecting each of these and hitting add fill color. I believe there's a quicker way to do this, but I've
already got them. It looks great.
Oops.
They're popping in my library. This is how you work collaboratively.
Collaboration.
Awesome. Collaboration.
I also really like these purples.
I know.
Oh, that's funny. This is actually kind of where we landed. Was the other palette that we got?
Yeah.
With the purples was kind of similar to what this was, right? So let me augment these out. And we got pretty close there to that other palette that we'd pulled. That's funny.
That's great.
We just augmented. All right, cool. All right, Nick. Awesome. So you have made some progress over here using the Pathfinder tool, using the pen tool.
Yeah. So I got our ship together. We've duplicated it. Now I just turned them into black line with white fills, just so I can see layering. I can see what's on top of each other. The other thing is it just brought in a nice little shape here. That's where we can kind of add our Pluto thing. The one thing I wanted to do was start thinking about this condensed font here. So I'm just going to try. My first instinct is to just go condense. So I spell it out just to find that perfect kind of like, something that's going to fit that space really nicely. And do I maybe bring this in a little bit closer together here? Let's see. And sometimes, I don't know, I used to be a stickler for like things not overlapping, but I'm a big fan of like when, let's say this goes behind the wing there, like just that little hint of it being overlapped. I kind of dig that idea, So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger than it is. And I'm considering this is kind of my space. And I want a bar here that's going to be behind it. But before I do anything to it, I do have this where I have travel to Pluto. So I'm going to option click, get a duplicate right above it. And then let's make this a little bit smaller. And here we'll put travel to. And just for a contrast, I'm going to mess with the letter spacing and make it a little bit bigger. I think this is one of the best tricks is messing with the things that have to be of importance, have one bit of kerning, and then the other one can have a little bit more, right? So to me, it adds for a little diversity and a little bit of coolness here. So I want to angle it. So I'm going to take all three. So I've got the bar, I've got the two sets of type, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shear tool, which is right here with your scale tool. And all you got to do now is just kind of like get this to the angle you want. And sometimes what I'll do too is I'm going to go here and do option click, and I'm going to go, let's go 15 degrees. And I'm seeing it's going that way, right? Well, option click again. We want vertical, and I'll go 25-ish maybe. Oh, negative 25. Negative 25. Nope. Vertical 25. The reason I'm doing this is because if I want something to do again, I want to have a number that I know. There it is. Yes. So negative 25 is kind of my angle. So if I add anything else right now, I know all I got to do is do that rather than try to eye it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's always the worst.
And something that's really cool is I've been working over here on some type that I knew I love for this style. It's I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm going to show you how to share it with your friend.
Go for it.
So what I did is I've been working over here, Pluto. There we go. I've been working over here on some different things. Let me switch over to my screen. Sorry, I'm just moving things around a little bit so we can see it. All right. So I've been working over here because I knew that I really liked this type because it was kind of what Nick was referencing in that foresty, world park, state park kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So what I did is I actually just click on the type that I have here, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to open my character panel by hitting Command T. I'm going to make sure that the all caps is turned on because I want to make sure that everything Nick does is in caps. And then the sizes are all correct. And I can simply come in here and I'm going to click on new and then go to character style. And with that text selected, it's going to show up in the library right here. And Nick, when we switch back to your screen, it will pop up there in just a second. And it will show up as a character style. And what that does is it will allow Nick to click on that Pluto that he has sheared and it will
There it is.
replace it. So check this out. Let's go to next screen. Go ahead and click on that Pluto that you have on your composition. And then all you need to do is click right there.
And now it's going to update because it is a Adobe font.
It is an Adobe font, and it should update. I say that very confidently, and let me make sure
Let's give it a second or two. I almost think that would be a cooler font for this intergalactic space bureau because it's so much more expanded of a font.
Oh, that's true. And also, if you do want to sync all of Condor, there's like 9 different variations of it. So we could play around with some different variations of it. But what is we wanted to do Solar Galactic is the name of the company?
Yeah, so like we do have this really cool, like to me that font you found is very bureau-ish, right? Yep. Kind of cool. Like maybe that's our intergalactic space bureau that's going to go right here. And then, oh, there we go. So now I got it. So let's say we go here and we go intergalactic, what do we call it? Space bureau. I probably spelled it wrong, didn't I? There we go. How is bureau spelled? You got that one.
I don't know. Yeah, let me hear. I'll work on this type like a logo for the International Space Bureau.
Here it is.
And then, yeah, you can, thank you. And chat, help me.
There we go. We got it. Perfect. And that is, we'll do it in that characters. Oh, yes. That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Look at that. Space Travel Bureau. So we're going to make this a little bit smaller. We can maybe go 2 lines with this one if we need to. Let's see here. I love this font. I love any of these fonts that are like, what are these categorized as? They're kind of like, it feels like Acme a little bit.
Yes, it's very
which is like
stretch
exactly.
Font stretch.
Exactly.
All right.
Just for fun, I'm gonna give us a base color here. Let's put it in the back, and we've got that as one of your cool colors here. Ooh, I'm digging that.
Cool. So I'll work on a footer there if you want to start filling in the rest of the composition with stuff. I'll work on the Intergalactic Space Travel Bureau kind of footer area.
Oh, nice. All right, cool. So let's go here. Let's get this one on like the condensed one. Let's see. We have one here. I think it was that one, right? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna get this nice and cool. I love having those angles like just all perfect and everything. We have Fly the Finest. We want something up there on the top. So maybe again, since we are talking planets, do we do like, maybe we do a smaller planet here that's gonna have that in it. So I'm just using
circles for planets at this point. Planets are pretty much all just color. It's gonna be circles and there's not much shape to planets. It's gonna be a lot of color.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So Fly the Best. Maybe we do this in the new font that Andrew had found. Let's see. And we can stack that in the circle nicely. So I'll go back to character styles.
And Chris is saying, do you guys only use Adobe fonts? I think like every now and then I have other fonts, but honestly, like there is everything that I need is on Adobe fonts. And I'm not saying that because I'm like shameless plug. Like it really is. Like there's always something there. And I don't have to worry about licensing and stuff. Like it's just good to go.
I'm a big fan of like both. And then it's sometimes if it is on there, I will go to the Foundry and technically maybe get it if it's being used for a client. Just feels a little bit better to know that like we have the rights to use it, and I'm being safe for everybody, you know?
Yep.
That's kind of my thought. All right, cool. So let's see what else we can do. We can like find some of the colors that we have here from yours. So these were your colors here.
Yep, I got a couple palettes.
A little bit of the red.
And then those colors up top are extra as well. So you can see Nick's actually doing this a different way. He's not adding the swatches. You can sample straight out of the library like that.
Isn't that great? I love that. That's kind of neat. This would be maybe I like this kind of color there. That's looking good. And then let's go maybe a dark blue here. Could do a light blue here. These can go to... let's see, we got a few other colors. Go with that light one. Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. Getting somewhere.
All right, things are happening.
Oh, and then let me know when you get solar because we're going to drop that down here as well on the top of the piece here. Looks like I've been frozen for a while. Is that the case?
Oh, has Nick been frozen this whole time? I don't know what happened here, Nick. All right, Nick's frozen, y'all. We don't get Nick. Sorry. Not sure what's going on there, but we can hear you. We can hear you. You do still exist there. We'll just go with a frozen Nick.
Nice.
All right, so what I'm doing over here, and I'm going to cut back to you pretty quickly, Nick. I am working on creating this kind of like cool cutout of the type to make it a little more unique. And you can really get a lot of character out of type and make it feel like it is just completely custom by adding some small details. So I'm going to add some cutouts here and almost do this like stencil spray paint. And then you see that I've mixed a couple different versions of this font. So Adobe Fonts is great because you can kind of bounce back and forth. And especially you can find fonts that have a lot of different weights. And so this one has 2 weights, actually has like 90 weights. So we're using these 2 weights in tandem so that they look a little bit better together. All right, let's see if we can restart Nick's video. We can't. All right.
Do you want me to restart it and send you a new link?
No, try to, I don't know. We can leave it. We can just have a Frozen Nick. Is anyone mad about Frozen Nick?
Frozen Nick.
Yeah.
There's our t-shirt.
All right, Frozen Nick. If you come back, you come back. If not, then we just keep designing. All right, what are you doing over there, Nick? I see you pulling planets and stuff.
Well, look at this. This was literally on Adobe stock. Look at this. So cool. Great stuff. Good reference. They had a Pluto. And I was just like, I want to see how that would look here. So I just brought it over to this. And we'll get rid of that. And I think it's a little off of our color palette. But that doesn't mean we can't adjust it in the edit color kind of thing, right?
Nick, can we fix that so quickly and so easily using edit colors?
I think we can. I'm going to group it. We're going to get rid of this guy.
Right here on Adobe Office Hours on Adobe Live on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time.
So here we go. Edit colors, recolor artwork. And what we're going to get here, I'm going to go to advanced options and you hit edit right there. And here's what's cool. So it comes locked, I believe, or is it? Yeah, it's locked as is here. And these are all the color variations that are in there right now. And as I move this a little bit, notice what it's doing to the planet. It's giving it these different, oh, there we go. Just automatically getting it a little bit more purple gives me a cool little vibe. I can keep going and finding a little bit more in the blue. That kind of works. I can slide this over, get it a little bit darker. You're aging it a little bit. Here, you're getting it a little bit more brighter. I kind of like that right in that zone. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's looking great.
Perfect. So we've just got this neat thing. I think all we need really to kind of get this thing started and get this looking together is maybe a background. What do you guys think? What should we go deep space? Should we keep it light?
Yeah, chat, let us know. And Nick, you can start looking for maybe something to put in there. I'm going to cut back. So I want to show you what I'm going to do here. I just threw placeholders over this and you can see when I zoom out, it looks way better, right? It's got that cool intergalactic look with all those little cutouts. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all this, make sure I don't have the background selected. And then I'll come in here and I'm just going to use the shape builder tool. So we're going to grab the shape builder tool right over here. And we talked about this a little bit in our last lesson. I'm going to hold Alt or Option. You can see it turn into that minus. So I'm holding Alt or Option, and then I'm just going to click through where I want it to cut away. So look at that. It's cutting away all these pieces, and it's actually making it so that it's no longer just hiding. It's changing the paths so that I have perfect shapes to play around with.
Are you using Pathfinder?
No, I'm using the Shape Builder.
Shape Builder. There you go. I love it.
Right? Shape Builder is where it's at. So now, instead of all those extra little pieces, I have very, very intentional cutout. So let's actually grab both of these so you guys can see the difference. Is we have really, really nice clean lines here, and here we have all these extra little pieces, and that's because I punched it out using that shape builder tool. So super easy.
Nice.
All right, Nick, where are we going with the background?
All right, so I went back to our fun little Adobe stock free piece here, and I kind of like, we'll mess with these stars a little bit, but all I do is I wanted to get this blue background, this gradient here, and what I did was I brought it in here just to see how it would start to look. And I noticed too, I'm gonna stick a little bit more to some of those colors that Andrew had made, because we had that bright red in there, and I'm thinking, gosh, this needs a little more of that burnt orange to kind of stand out a little bit too, right?
And I also am going to show everybody at the end, I'm going to show you how to like bring colors together really easily. So let's put the colors in, but I'm going to try to do a thing at the end and change and show you my little secret for color.
Perfect. So we got this neat little glow around that as well. I think what's cool too is we can work with a little bit of a gradient maybe on this one. So I'm going to take that chartreuse color there, which I have right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a few versions of it. So let's make one that is slightly darker. So right around there. And I bring it to the palette. Perfect. Now I can take this one here and make one a little bit darker as well. Cool. Bring it to the color palette. And the last thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to make one super light. So I'm going to take that one and we'll go kind of in that zone. Now I'm going to bring that one over here. So I have these like 4 colors that kind of make up this here, right?
Yep.
So go into this here. We're going to get into the gradient tool, and I'm going to get my swatches out so we can see those. And we'll go back to the gradient. Now what I can do is I can take all of these cool little colors that I have and drop them in here. So I'm getting these darks and lights and variations of that color that we like. I'm going to get the black out, and all you got to do is drag them away.
This is
now look at
cool
the
dimension.
difference. Yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden I got this, we can see that there's this highlight maybe on the right and darker on the left. There's almost like causing a cool little shadow in there. And I could do the same with this guy as well. I'm going to do that really quick. Just going to make it out of 2 different colors. So I'm going to take this one here, and let's make that one that color. And then I'm going to take this one and make it a bit let's go light and give it a highlight, because we're pretty dark on this thing, right?
Yep, and it looks like Elizabeth is saying it almost looks like the rocket ship is just flying past Pluto. Yes, on the way.
Exactly. There you go. Like saying so long, Pluto, but actually we're going there.
Yep. Which reminds me of the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. When I'm not going to spoil for you guys. I had to tease it. I had to tease it, but I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to do it. No, not here.
I know so many people that are just like dying to go see it today. Ooh, there we go.
Yes.
Cool. Kind of digging that.
Ooh,
awesome.
That's looking good.
And maybe this one we can go. Let's find maybe another. Oh, there we go. Kind of nice. And then I think the more, you know what I love is like when you narrow it down to just the right colors, you don't need a lot. I think sometimes simplifying the color palette brings it out a lot more strong.
Yep. And yeah, Elizabeth's saying, I love the flat paper cut look. I've been using that a lot in my work. I believe that our friend Matt Fugoso?
Fugoso.
There we go. He does that a lot in his work as well.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Oh, this is looking good. So I'm going to send this right behind the wing. So I'm pasting it behind. Ooh, there you go.
Cool. And what was the hotkey for paste behind?
That is Command Shift B. I'm sorry. So Command Shift it'll put it right behind it. So when you do that, or is it just Command B? Yeah, it's just Command B. That's right. Isn't it funny? I think you did this with one of your guys on stream the other day. It's like the muscle memory. You don't know what it is. You have to look at your shortcuts.
Yep. You don't know what it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So I'm gonna have a little fun and
stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a few drop shadows here. I'm always a big fan of what you can do just here on Illustrator as well. So I'll make it 55%. Make the spread here like maybe 0.15.
Before you start adding effects, can you do something for me? Can you take the whole thing? I don't know. I cut to the frozen screen. I'm sorry, Nick. Can you cut? I'll cut to my screen. Can you cut? Just take that whole thing and drop it in the library so I can grab a copy of it. Because I'm going to do a very different treatment to it, and we'll see kind of the 2 different versions that we can get out of this using different effects and different styles, and it will kind of show that there's no right or wrong way to design something. There are just different ways. So Nick is going to be dropping that into the library, which he just did. It should show up for me here in a second. And Nick, do you want to open up maybe the window where your video is going out and see if that fixes it? Did that get minimized or anything?
No, it's still good. It's still on the stream to you. I can resend it to you if you want.
Fun. No, we're good. All right, Nick, keep going over there. I'm gonna fix it. You go.
No worries. All right, perfect. So, I'm kind of digging where this is going. I think we got to do the same here, but now I need a vertical gradation for this as well. So again, we've got that brick color. I'm gonna make that this here. We'll get it into our swatches as well, and I'll make that this.
Sweet. So and I did fix your video, Nick.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. All right, perfect. So double clicking it on the swatch window gives you this, so you can make a nice bright version. I think what we want to do is kind of like really ignite this one to almost a yellow. So that one will get in here. This one, I'm going to make it even much brighter. We'll go maybe even start adding a little bit of yellow like that. And then maybe the final one could almost be like the brightest of oranges here. So let's see. Got to add that to the palette, and then we'll go here, and we're going to make this almost into our yellow that we are already using on the plane. I think that's kind of be a nice little change of pace there. Perfect. Cool. Highlight this one. We'll get into our gradient window, and again, now we can just start bringing. I got to get the yellow in there. Perfect. All right, grab this again. Let's have some fun. So we're going to drag these into here. My golden rule here is just to bring them in the middle, and then I can get rid of those outside ones that are kind of in there as well. So I brought in that one and this one. So you just kind of drag all these other ones that were there from prior. There we go. I went out. Perfect. Oh, nice.
Ooh,
now,
that's looking good.
Now we got to make this 90 degrees. Yeah, perfect. Wait, is that the right one? Yeah, it should be brighter as it goes up to the piece, correct?
Yes.
I'm kind of digging that. But I wonder too, like maybe what I want to do is bring some like negative line space in there, kind of similar to what you had done earlier. So I'm going to save this in that gradient in the color swatch, right?
All right.
Because what I want to do is I want to minus some lines out of this to give it a little bit of like some linear thing. So I'm just going to make it a dark color for now, or a light color so I can see it. And all I'm going to do is with the Option and Shift, you're going to just drag and now hit Command D, and you're just going to get all of these like that. Ooh. So I want to minus these from there so I can select all of them by grabbing the edge here. And I'm going to do, we learned this last week, Command 8, which is basically compound path. So if you try to do this with not doing that, you're just going to get one minus out of here, whereas I want to make sure we're minusing all of them together. And we'll hit that plus this one, and we will go to our Pathfinder tool, which I don't have, do I? There it is.
You also can shape builder that. We already know Nick likes to do the Pathfinder, and I like to do the shape builder. There's no wrong way.
Now, notice it did something weird. It put gradients in all of them. So the quick fix is just a Command 8, and boom, there is our entire kind of propulsion, if we want to call it. All gradient with the minus back. There's so many cool other tips you can do here too. We can have fun with this, and you can do some different things behind it. You can give it a drop shadow as well. But I kind of like the vibe where it's going already, you know?
Oh, yeah.
What else do we got? We want to add in the, what's the name of our thing again?
Yeah,
what's our brand called?
I'll cut back over to mine and what I'm working on over here.
Solar.
So
is that what you were saying?
Yes, I took a lot of Nick's elements that he's working on, and I want mine to be more of like this flat color kind of style. And so there are a lot of effects going on here. And so what I can do is I'm actually just going to try to reset all these effects. And I think what I can do is come here and go to Effects. And I believe, can I reset all the effects? Clear appearance, yes. So I can clear appearance. Oh, not what I wanted to do.
That's a good one.
Not what I wanted to do. All right, so I can come in here and I can just turn off all of these drop shadows and whatnot as I see them. And what I'm going to try to do is take all these colors and smash them down into a single color palette. And the way to do that is using color palettes, swatches, as well as the recolor artwork, right? So I want 3 colors on this. That's it. So I want this light kind of blue. I want this purple. And then I want this kind of very dark background blue. So what I can do is I can grab these 3, which feel very like sci-fi space. And I'm going to grab a new folder right here of just these 3 colors. And now I'm going to select all of my artboard. Now I do want to make sure that we're cropped in here. So I'm just going to make a clipping mask over this artboard to make sure that everything stays in there. All right, so with all of that selected, I'm going to go to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. And we're going to go to Advanced Options right here. Now you can see all of my palettes over here, and you can see there's like a million colors happening. Now, what's great is I can actually just click on this group that I've made of 3 colors and watch what it does. It slams all of the colors into groups and then reassigns them a color or value. And then I can randomly change that color order until I find something that I like. So it looks like that actually looks pretty close to what I want.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit OK there. And I actually want to add in like a cream color, I think. So we're going to add in one more cream color. Like a nice little bright yellow cream white. There we go. That one. So I'm going to add that into our palette right here. And then we are going to let it crush. I am going to change some of these gradients real quick so that they are just flat colors. Let's leave them. Let's leave them. We'll fix them later. So I'm just going to grab this, edit colors, recolor artwork, advanced options, and then click on this palette, and it will slam everything down so that it has some nice color. And I'm just going to click, and it shuffles the colors randomly. And so you just wait till you find something that you like that, which I love. So I'm going to hit OK.
I'm getting that real old vintage comic book style from that. I dig that.
Yes.
Great colors. Love this, man.
All right, Nick, where are you going over on your side? You've got some crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah, I want to get some good stuff in here. Finish off the bottom. We got the Intergalactic Space Travel Bureau, Solar Galactic, daily departures from Earth. I think we got a little space up here on top, but you know what I liked was that cool little star pattern that was here. And I'm gonna see where that is. So let's see. It looks like we got it. Is it grouped? Ah, I love that. Love finding good stuff like that. So I'm just gonna bring it in here, kind of paste it, and let's see how that looks. I think also too, it'd be fun to mess around with some grit a little bit on here as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna copy it and then delete it, and then I'm gonna paste it in front of that blue. So because I want it only on top of the blue background. So then that's a Command F, and that pastes it right in front of there. So you can see it's only on top of the dark blue pattern. It's not on top of any of the art on top of it as well. So it kind of looks cool, but there's all those cool things you can do after. One of the fun things I like, because here we are talking about, being a pro here on Illustrator. But if you ever, when you're done with this, it's always good to try bringing it in, even if you're a novice, and seeing what Photoshop can do to something like this down the road. You can export it as layers and get them all layered into Photoshop and mess around with textures and some of the stuff. Like I was watching the one you had done with the gentleman that was doing some of the Star Wars stuff the other day.
Yep.
And I loved some of the stuff he brought up with like the fiber textures and all these other things that are like so fun to experiment. That's what brings out, I think, those things that you're maybe missing here in Illustrator, and they're so complementary.
Yep. So we're actually I'm going to do some of that really quick over on my screen.
Go for it.
Is we've gotten a little bit more to this kind of vintage look. And what I'm going to try to do is just make a copy over here, and we're going to use that edit colors, and we're just going to check our contrast, right? So right now, the only thing that's a problem is this type right here is looking a little bit wonky. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop it into a color in the background. But I'm going to select this and go to edit colors, and then convert to grayscale. So you can see there that the grayscale, there's not a lot of contrast in a couple places, but we do have some nice contrast going on. We can come in here and again, go to edit colors, and then we're just going to play around with some of the color balance. And let's do recolor artwork, because this is where we can change the brightness. So down here, we have the brightness and hue, and then over here we have the saturation. So the brightness, I want it to be a little bit brighter, so I can pull that up. So we're pulling the brightness up a little bit, looks good to me. And then I do want to change the color of this just to a little bit of a darker gray, so we have some contrast there. So we've got the contrast, and here's my little secret that I like to do, is I love to just drop a color on top and then change the blending mode. So once we convert to grayscale, we're gonna grab a color like this blue that we have here, and then we're gonna use a blending mode over here to multiply, maybe even color burn. See what happens? Multiply. Ooh. And it's gonna even those colors out for us to get a nice kind of look that hopefully sits down a little bit better. There we go. So color looks pretty good, and you can also do that over an existing piece that has different colors. Is play around with doing soft light, doing some overlay, doing a hard light. Let's do some soft light. That looks cool. So you can see here when I delete this, that is without and this is with. So it helps to even all those colors out. And I do want to do one more thing before we keep going, Nick. I am going to go ahead and do something that I learned from our friends Amy and Jen Hood, the absolute masters of this stuff. So let's go ahead and, why is my color? Sorry, hold on. Wait for it. I need to fix this color. It's going to kill me. All right. And no. It's black now. All right. Why? Oh, Nick, you did an opacity, didn't you? Shame on you. All right.
Did I really?
You did. You got me tripped up there. All right, so we have all of our stuff here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the pieces here, and I'm going to go to Effect, and I'm going to actually zoom in on this, and go to Effect, and we're going to go to Distort and Transform, and then Roughen. So it made it really crazy, right? This is not what we want, but what I'm going to do is for the size, I'm going to type in like 0.5. So really, really small. There you go. And then the detail, I'm just going to type in maybe 2. Actually, sorry, the detail, I'm going to go really high. And you can see that's giving us those weird little edges. We're going to go to smooth and then take this down even further. Maybe we'll go to 0.2.
These two little areas here in Roughen are the coolest little things you can do to just add that homemade touch to anything you're doing.
Yep.
If it looks a little too like, just streamlined and clean and you want to add a little roughness, so cool.
Yep, and maybe a 0.1. So we got a little bit of roughness on there. So we're going to hit OK. And now you can see that everything got that little bit of roughness that's looking pretty good. And now I'm going to select it and then go up here and go to Effect. And I am going to actually go to Pixelate and then turn on Mezzotint. So this is going to look really crazy for a second. I'm going to turn on Fine Dots and I'm going to hit OK.
Now you're just making up things.
Oops, sorry. I need to make a copy of this. So I'm making a copy and then I'm going to go to Object or Effect and go to Pixelate and Mezzotint. We're going to keep it on Fine Dots. I'll hit OK. And now I'll just take the opacity of this down, maybe do a soft light, and then take the opacity down to like 50% or something. Right? Nice. And you can see that it's starting to give me just that little bit of vintage paper texture. Right? And there we go. We've kind of landed on a nice little vintage paper. And
Love
Nick,
that.
where are you on yours? We got a couple minutes left, so let's kind of compare the before and
I wanted
after.
to do like a quick little kind of, streak or something underneath here. So all I did was I made a white box and now it's a gradient with a white solid and a white solid here. This is a great tip too. You select one of them and here in opacity, I'm going to bring it down to 0. Now watch what it does. It actually makes this part gradient to 0. So anything behind it is going to start to show in appearance. So let's make this 90 degrees. Is that right? There we go. Perfect. And I'm trying to just think of something here that would be a cool little streak underneath here. So again, I'm going to take it, copy it, and put it behind our spaceship here. So behind back. And again, I get a little bit of something there, but I'm trying to think, what else can you do within Illustrator? I think you can kind of do... Can you do some noise or can you do...
Oh, can you? Nick, what's happening on my screen over here? Let's take a look.
See. Let's go and see what you're doing.
Nick is doing the feature that is that cool kind of like...
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What'd you find?
I just blurred it. I went into Effect, into SVG filters, and went to... Oh, we have turbulence. Ooh. Okay.
There we go.
I'm digging it. What are you doing?
So I'm going to be doing the same thing that I just did. Is I'm actually going to be making mine black for now, I believe. And I am going to make... Actually, let's make it a color. Let's make it red. So I'm going to make mine red, and then I'm going to do another Mezzotint, but I think that you can actually make it so that it does strokes. So we'll go to Pixelate, Mezzotint, and then here we'll do medium lines. And you can see that it's going to grab those lines. It's actually going to do them horizontally, which is not what I want. So let's go ahead. Oops. Let's undo that and then do it again. There we go. Mezzotint. And then when I rotate it...
I just hear Scooby-Doo every time you say that. Zoinks!
Mezzotint. We're going to rasterize that.
Yeah.
So it becomes an image. And then I can actually come in here and just auto trace it. Do the image trace. And check this out. It's going to give me some really wonky vectors. But you can see there that it's got that kind of nice flame look. Yes. From just using those filters together. And so let's make that white. And now check that out. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat, bro. I like that a lot. Let's see if I can find anything else that does something better. We got turbulence, we got wood grain, we got shadow. Pixel play, what does that do? Ooh, it actually darkens it a little bit. I just like the white. And then all I did was I also did the little, let's see, what else was there? We could just blur, or let's see what Cool Breeze does. Kind of adds a little hotter touch there as well. I'm happy with that. I'm just like, I love that it's full Illustrator, got all the fun little tricks and some cool little stuff.
Yeah, I think
I love the difference of just what color and appearance will do to the same exact art.
Yep.
Cool.
So can you hit tab? Actually, can you?
Want me to give you the whole thing here?
Yeah, give me the whole thing. Yeah, go into presentation mode.
So let's see, view here, presentation mode.
All right, so I think that this is going to work. Can you? Yeah, there we go. So there is Nick's right there, intergalactic space, and then Andrew's, a little bit different. I got different proportions for some reason, but we have Andrew's is here. We got a nice little vintage look going, and then over here, Nick has got the futuristic kind of vibe going on.
I think if we showed them these without knowing, they'd know exactly whose these were.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because yours is way better than mine. That's exactly.
Just shut up.
If you ever watched Office Hours, you know that I think that Nick is like the greatest designer that's ever lived. All right. So that is pretty much all the time we have. My goodness, that's all the time we have. We are so late. Thanks
Just
for
in
joining
time.
us for Space Week. Nick, any parting thoughts
Hey,
to our
what's
friends?
up, Paul Tranny?
And what is coming up next week? Hey, Paul.
What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we are doing Teacher Appreciation Week next week, and tell them a little bit about what we're going to be building.
Yeah,
I think we're doing it in a whole new application.
We will. We will be in Adobe Express hanging out, and we'll be in next Friday, 2:30 p.m. But I am also going live in the mornings next week, Monday and Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. We'll be building out some special things for teachers. We'll have some stickers for you. We'll have some nameplates, some things to help teachers in their classrooms. And then we will be talking about our favorite teachers, our favorite lessons, and passing along. If you have a favorite teacher that has taught you something, go over to our Discord right down here, discord.gg/acc, and drop that in there and let us know what your favorite teacher taught you. Also, great job, Colby. Look at Colby designing something down the stream. That's awesome. All right.
Dude,
we're about to get cut off. Just know, Colby, we're talking and praising you for the next 5 minutes. Just imagine it's happening because we're about to lose the stream. But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be back to Earth. Bye. Hi, Paul.